fuss of her.
Well, Philippa's been through rather a lot, Julia, and tell me what's wrong with trying to make life a bit more pleasant.
Nothing, I suppose.
It's such a little thing waving goodbye, but it helps. I'd do the same for you.
Yes, but I'm family.
Why, Julia, it sounds as if you're jealous.
Me? Certainly not. She is only a lodger.
Come to that, so are you. Look, I was pleased to have you here and just as pleased to have Philippa. How would you feel if your husband had died so young, leaving you with a child?
I don't know. I wouldn't have gotten married in my teens. I'm not so crazy.
The trouble is, we're not all as worldly as you are, Julia.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aunt Letty.
Oh, there's no need.
No, I've been spiteful. Believe it or not, I almost sort of like Philippa. We're on the same wavelengths. But you do make too much fuss out of all of us.
I like having young people around me, so when your mother asked if you could stay here, I was delighted. It meant I could indulge myself.
Oh dear. I can't find it, Letty. I can't find it anywhere.
What, dear?
Oh, it's Friday.
All day, dear.
Yes.
Friday the 13th, to be precise. Ooh, ominous.
Oh, dear. What was I saying, Letty?
You couldn't find it, Bunny, dear.
Oh, exactly. I can't find it anywhere. Have you seen it?
Let's start at the beginning.
It's Friday. I always read it Friday morning after breakfast.
Oh, the Gazette, you mean?
Of course, that's what I've been telling you.
Yes, dear.
I can't find the Chipping Cleghorn Gazette anywhere. You don't suppose they've gone on strike, do you?
They wouldn't do that, dear, not here.
A strike here. What a lovely thought. Headlines in the national press. We might even make the news. Chipping Cleghorn Gazette refuses to report on very huge compost pile.
Things like that don't happen here.
No, nothing ever happens here. It's another world, isn't it?
And just as well, too.
Oh, you guys have to listen to this. It's marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
Oh, Patrick, do tell us what it is. We're all dying to know.
Oh dear, we are in a bad mood, aren't we? Have a bad dream last night?
A nightmare. It was all about you.
Well, it's better than being ignored.
What's so marvelous, Patrick?
The personal column in this right on, Letty. It's better than Oprah. Listen to this. Young woman, said to be hot, seeks companionship with a mature man. Love, marriage. Oh, really, Bunny? I can't believe you wrote this.
Oh, Patrick.
You know very well, young man, that Bunny always reads the Gazette first. I don't have many rules in this house, but that's one. She's been looking everywhere for it.
It's all yours, Bunny. Well, she could have borrowed Mitzi's.
Mitzi?
She thinks it will help her fix her accent or something.
Oh, dear me, no. I couldn't. I really couldn't. I've only got to walk past the kitchen and she snarls at me. I only want to help, that's all. I couldn't ask her, I just couldn't. She's horrid, that Millie.
Mitzi, dear.
Yes.
Well, you won't have to ask her, Bunny.
I promise I won't borrow it again.
Why aren't you at college? It wouldn't have happened if you'd been at college.
I haven't got a lecture till this afternoon.
All that money you get and you never seem to do anything.
It's not my fault.
Just enjoy your paper, Bunny. You are very lucky, Patrick.
Yes, well, I do have a C average.
Oh, it's one giant holiday for him.
Well, thanks for nothing, sister. Anyway, listen to who's talking about a holiday. You've got the whole day off.
Only because I've been working overtime every night this week.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't been working overtime at all. Been to the movies more likely.
How dare you?
How dare you?
My goodness, you two, did you always bicker like this at home?
He did. I didn't.
How is that even possible?
It just is.
What is it, Bunny? What's wrong?
What does it mean? Oh my goodness, whatever can it mean?
I won't know unless you tell me.
Here, in the Gazette. Right at the bottom of the personal column.
Yes, dear?
It's an announcement.
Oh, how nice.
No, you don't understand.
No, I know I don't.
It says, oh dear, I can't bear to read it.
Oh, but you will.
Yes. A murder is announced and will take place on Friday, October the 13th at Little Paddocks at 6:30 p.m. Friends, please accept this, the only intimation.
Are you sure that's what it says?
Right at the bottom.
This house, Little Paddocks?
Yes!
Read it again, buddy.
A murder is announced and will take place on Friday, October the 13th.
Today? Oh, I knew something dreadful was going to happen today.
A few minutes ago, you were complaining that nothing happened here. Finish it.
At Little Paddocks at 6:30 p.m. Friends, please accept this, the only intimation. Letty.
Let me see.
No, it's a joke. It has to be. I mean, who'd be crazy enough to advertise a real murder in the newspapers?
You know, a madman might. Or some crazy axe murderer. Or maybe even a man with a hook. Oh,
It's nothing to do with you. Is it, Patrick?
I'm not crazy.
That's debatable.
I wouldn't put it past you.
It has nothing to do with me. Perhaps Philippa can throw some light on it.
No, it's not the sort of thing she'd get up to anyway.
I agree. Well, someone seems to think it's amusing.
It frightens me.
It's nothing to worry about, Bunny.
But what will happen at 6:30?
Delicious death!
Really, Patrick?
Oh no, Bunny, ignore him. He means Mitzi's special cake. We always call it delicious death.
That's fine. Friends, please accept this, the only intimation. Well, somebody's bound to drop round. I thought we might get her to make a cake with some tea. And maybe I could make some drinks.
I'm sure you did. Nothing is going to happen at 6:30, Bunny, except Patrick is probably right in suggesting that one or two people may drop in out of curiosity.
That's right, Bunny. It might even turn out to be a party.
It most certainly won't.
So there's nothing to worry about, Bunny. Nothing.
Good. That makes me feel better.
We'll all laugh about it tomorrow, Bunny.
Yes.
Someone is after me! I'm going to be murdered in my bed! Murdered! It is here! In the Gazette! They are coming for me! Whoever put that silly advert in the paper obviously did it with the precise intention of sending this house into total chaos. There will be blood everywhere! They will cut me up and feed me to the dogs!
Poor dogs.
It will happen in this very house if I stay tonight. You see, they care nothing for the law. They tell everyone they're coming to murder me. Why did they come inside? No one's going to murder you. It's a joke. I'm not laughing. I'll go in. Nevertheless, I don't think it has anything to do with you. You don't know. Once you have escaped from Jamaica, they never let you get away.
But you did get away.
They hound me day and night, night and day. The telephone calls, you wonder what they are, who they are from.
What telephone calls?
Agents from my country. Why do you think they keep phoning me?
Well, maybe they want to know how you're doing, Millie.
I've never heard you get a telephone call, Mitzi. They do it in secret. They don't like it that I escaped from them. You have no idea what it is like. They torture me for days, weeks, months. The light's shining in my eyes. My family. They sent them to Whistler. Whistler, we are black and we do not know what's the white girl who are not calling. Mitzi, do be sensible about this. Nothing is going to happen to you. No one is going to come after you. No spy, no agent. So calm yourself down. We'll all look after you. Now, this is what I suggest you do. You get that beef out of the pantry and make those special Jamaican patties of yours for lunch. You like my Jamaican patty, man?
They're simply delicious.
I'll make it even more special for you today. Put some tamarind, some rich tamarind. Mwah! Makes my mouth water just to think of it.
Good. You do that. Incidentally, I expect someone or other might be dropping in around 6:30 this evening. No, for a drink and a sandwich, perhaps. And you make such good sandwiches.
It'll be alright.
There's nothing to worry about.
You are right. I'm a good cook, no?
You are a good cook, yes.
I'll make a dip too.
Oh, well done, Aunt Letty.
Yes, beautifully handled.
How nice to have you two in agreement for once.
Letty was always very good with people. She could have gone a long way. Yes, a long way indeed. If only...
Now, Bunny dear, we mustn't keep reminiscing. Young people aren't interested in the past these days.
Oh, dear me, I'm so silly. I get so muddled lately. I'm sorry, Letty. Really, I'm truly sorry.
Bunny, I wasn't angry with you.
Oh, but you're so right. Everything's so mixed up. I must be more careful and think before I say something.
No one minds. We all understand. Read your paper, dear. You know how much you enjoy it.
Yes, that's what I'll do. But I won't read that advertisement again, Letty.
No, dear, don't do that.
I shan't sleep a wink. Though Mitzi could be right. We might all be murdered in our beds.
No, dear, no. The advertisement says 6:30. I don't think any of us will be in our beds by then.
Oh no, we won't, will we?
So there's nothing to worry about.
We could be murdered down here!
Bunny!
Oh no. Don't do that, Letty. Please.
Well then.
Well, for a second there, I thought Mitzi would clear off, and I'd have to do the cooking for once. And you need to make any comment, thank you very much.
I was just thinking what a terrible liar Mitzi is.
We all know there aren't any telephone calls.
What about her parents being sent to Whistler? Last time, she told us they were executed in Cuba.
Yes, while tears were freezing down her cheeks. In Cuba.
We must be sympathetic towards her. Life must be pretty miserable with no one you can talk to, no one from your background. I suppose that's why she makes up all these stories.
Lies, you mean?
Yes, I do, but I think I can see why she does it.
But why are her stories always such doom, gloom, and disaster?
It's what she enjoys, like some people enjoy reading murder mysteries.
Murder mysteries.
Oh, Letty.
Oh, the front door was open. I do hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all, Miss Marple.
I've only popped in to deliver these to Miss Bunner.
Oh, how lovely.
You remember how you admired them at the vicarage the other day? Well, I told my nephew and he insisted I bring some along for you.
Thank you. That is kind. Look, Letty, aren't they lovely and so unusual in the autumn?
My grandmother was able to grow them right up to the winter months. I adore violets.
Yes, there's something very sentimental about them. Don't you think so, Julia?
I think you have a very romantic nature, Miss Marple.
Do you?
But I do see what you mean.
Well, I don't think Patrick does.
No, there's no romance in his soul.
Well, you're only his sister. You probably wouldn't see it if it was there.
Please, sit down, Miss Marple.
Oh, thank you.
Where shall they go, Letty? I want everyone to enjoy them.
What about here, on the sideboard? There's even a vase waiting for them.
Oh, and it's already got water in it. It must be stale. I'll get some fresh. Won't be a minute.
I'm so glad you called. I wanted to ask you to Bunny's birthday party on Sunday. I know she'd love you to be here.
Well, thank you. I love parties. Perhaps there's something I can do to help.
Oh, no. I'll be helping Aunt Letty, Miss Marple.
Oh, no. I'll be helping Aunt Letty, Miss Marple.
Well, you'll be in bed till noon and snoring in an armchair for the rest of the day, so we can't rely on you for any help, now can we?
So, the announcement in the Gazette. What does it mean?
You've seen that, have you?
Well, I should think everyone in Chipping Cleghorn's seen that by now. Has it anything to do with Miss Bunner's birthday?
No idea what it means.
Well, I thought it was an invitation to play some sort of new game or something.
Oh, the murder game. Sounds good, doesn't it?
If you're interested, Miss Marple, why don't you come along at around 6:30?
Oh, well, I'd love to, but I have to go into Medenham Wells for my treatment, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I'll try my best, though, but knowing your neighbors, you won't be alone. The Colonel and Mrs. Easterbrook, for a start.
Oh no, they're in Bournemouth.
Well, Clara Swetnam wouldn't miss an opportunity like this, and her son Edmund, with 2 young, beautiful girls staying here.
There's someone I could do without, and Philippa says he's a mama's boy.
I thought he was a right.
Only an excuse not to get a real job and work for a living.
Perhaps she's got a point.
Do thank the vicar for me, Miss Marple. I'm touched. I really am.
Oh, well, he was delighted you noticed them. He brought the original cutting back from Devon, the Dart Valley. He was born there.
Devon violets. There's nothing quite like them.
Well, I really must be on my way now. I hope all will be well for you this evening.
What?
Oh, the announcement in the Gazette. A murder will take place here at 6:30.
Oh dear. I do remember.
If it wasn't a joke or some sort of game, it would be very worrying for all of you.
We're made of sterner stuff than you think, Miss Marple.
Oh, but surely, Miss Blacklock, if there's going to be a murder, there has to be a victim. If I were you, the question I'd be asking myself is, who is going to be murdered?
You like what I do, Miss Blacklock?
Oh, yes, those do look nice, Mitzi, thank you.
That's it? Well, it's not so quite perfect. In the sandwiches, I put the pâté.
The pâté, not my pâté de foie gras.
It is delicious.
It was a present. It came from Fortnum's. I was saving that for a special occasion.
You tell me to make sandwiches. I do it.
I was rather thinking of cheese.
Your English cheese. It tastes like soap.
We like it.
Do you need me anymore?
No, thank you, Mitzi. Are you going out?
I have some things to do in the dining room. Then I go to my room and lock myself up.
Before you go into hiding, could you let the guests in when they arrived? I've decided to keep the front door locked this evening.
I am everything here. Head cook and bucket washer.
Bottle washer.
Yes, that too. I'm wearing a hat like this. Nobody tell me to wear a hat like this. Get my out of my way!
Not long now. Aren't you worried?
Why should I be?
Well, supposing this isn't a hoax. Supposing some maniac is going to commit a murder here tonight.
You're the last person I expected to take it seriously.
Well, I do have a few butterflies in my stomach.
Well, have a drink and relax.
What bothers me most is Miss Marple's comments.
Forget it. Miss Marple relishes this sort of thing. She's a real old busybody.
Ah, yes, but quite a clever old busybody. And if she's right, who is going to be the next victim?
No one. It's either a joke or it's someone who wants to get even. Someone I owe hospitality to, and it slipped my mind.
But if that isn't
Julia!
it, one of us is going to die.
I don't want to hear any more. It's nonsense.
Well, it has to be somebody in this house. Perhaps it's Patrick. There are times when I could throttle him. And then there's Bunny.
Oh, perish the thought. Poor dear Bunny.
I've seen you driven to distraction by her before now.
Yes, well, we've been friends for years, from childhood. She can be irritating. What a horrible thought.
Well, on a happier note, perhaps it'll be Mitzi who gets to chop. Oh, she gets on my nerves.
That's not a good enough reason to murder her.
And Philippa, who is she and where does she come from?
You know exactly who she is and where she comes from.
Yes, but we've only got her word for
The
it.
same applies to you and Patrick.
Yes, but Mother wrote to you, asked if we could stay here.
How do I know it wasn't a forgery?
Oh, I see what you mean. But it wasn't. Of course not.
I'm sure it wasn't. The same way I'm sure about Philippa.
It's all going to take place at 6:30, and this is the scene of the crime. You know, maybe, just maybe, if I was looking out at the beautiful stars in the sky, and I see a flash, and a bullet comes through the window, but I dodge it with my spidey senses, and then it hits you. You know, it could happen. Philippa, you might want to watch out for that chandelier if it falls on you. You know, it could happen. Watch out for that clock if that falls on you. Ooh, those hands are pointy. You know, it could happen.
This is a crazy story, Letty. It just doesn't make sense. If someone intends to commit a murder, why on earth announce it in a newspaper for everyone to see? I should have thought it would have been wise to keep quiet about it.
You're right, Philippa. It's crazy. It's got to be a madman.
What about a mad woman?
It's a wonder the police haven't been round here.
I shouldn't think for one moment they take it seriously.
Do you?
Of course not. It's too silly for words.
You don't sound too sure of yourself.
I certainly am. It's just someone who wants an excuse for a drink. Let's forget it, shall we?
Oh, poor Aunt Letty. It's rather getting on top of you, isn't it?
No, it is not, but you keep going on about it. It's stupid and childish and I've heard enough. Do you understand?
Quack, quack. 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 Quack.
Is anything wrong, Bunny?
Infernal noise they make, Letty. They're all out on the back lawn. Quack.
My goodness, I haven't locked up the ducks.
Quack.
Have you been outside like that?
What, Letty?
Without a coat?
Only to the bottom of the garden to throw some garbage away.
Dr. Robinson would be very annoyed, and I'm not sure I shan't tell him.
Oh, please don't.
You'll be the death of me. I'd better lock them up. I'll only be a minute.
I'll do it, Letty.
Certainly not, Philippa. You've been at work all day. You relax.
I'll go.
Thank you, Patrick, but I'd rather do it myself.
You know, Julia, I noticed you stayed discreetly in the background. Afraid of getting your hands dirty.
No, my new dress, as a matter of fact.
That must have cost a bomb.
A friend bought it for me.
Oh, like that, is it?
Ask no questions.
Death wore black chiffon.
I beg your pardon?
You know, Death wore black chiffon would be very appropriate if you were the murderer.
If you're trying to be funny.
I once read a book called that.
Are you sure, Bunny?
No, that wasn't quite it. Let me see. I think I've got it. Death wore black lingerie. Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong again. Death wore a bra and panties. That's it. Definitely. Nice book, though there were some parts I didn't quite understand.
I'm sure you didn't.
There is something you can do for me, Patrick.
Of course, anything.
There's not much sherry. Put this away and get a new one, please.
But there's more than half a bottle.
It's been open a long time.
You will not smell my boy! Mrs. Sweatingham and her son, Edmund Sweatingham. Thank you. You're welcome. Why are you laughing at me?
It wasn't you, it was something else, honest.
You stay out of my kitchen, boy.
Mitzi!
You're welcome.
Clara, Edmund, how nice of you to call.
We were just passing, Letty.
Really?
That's right, isn't it, Edmund?
Yes, Mother.
We were in our car, well, one of our cars, and I said to Edmund, who drives much too fast, as you know, "Oh, look, Edmund, we're passing little paddocks Letty would never forgive us if we didn't drop in and say hello. And Edmund said, what was it you said?
What a good idea.
And I said, yes, isn't it? So here we are.
Well, it was nice of you to think of us. Please, sit down.
Thank you.
Hi, Philippa.
Hi, Edmund.
Are you tired?
Not really.
Because you've been running through my mind all day long.
Edmund!
Mother!
Isn't it nice, Bunny?
What is Letty?
Clara and Edmund were just passing and decided to drop in and see how we were.
Oh! But this morning, you said those nosy Swetnams would be bound to call in. Bursting with curiosity, you said, after seeing the announcement in the Gazette. You did see it, didn't you, Clara? Well, was it the one right at the bottom of the personal column? Yes, I may have noticed it. Well, Julia said we should pretend not to be home. Oh,
Anyway, now that you're here,
Totally unexpected.
Patrick, let's all have a drink.
Drinks?
Drinks.
Drinks! We're gonna have drinks! Drinks! Edmund, let's your share. Yes, please. Mrs. Sweatman.
Your sherry will do. Thank you.
Funny. Well, Philippa, you looked very busy this morning.
Things got even more hectic after you left.
Oh, I see. Having secret meetings, eh? Hatching something?
There was nothing secret about it, and we're not hatching anything.
No, by no means, you see. I had to drop by at Dice Hall with some honey for Mrs. Lucas.
That's your story.
Julia,
Yes, darling.
I should be careful. Otherwise, a few things might come out that the rest of us would consider most peculiar.
Drinks, everyone. Oh, and I got the big one, baby. Bang! Let's all make a toast. To long life.
To long life.
Oh, and I've laced yours with a dash of poison. Yeah.
Well, you only die once. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sandwiches, anyone?
Yes, please.
They're made with pate.
Delicious.
Pate for a party.
Well, I should really check on our car.
Why don't you come around here, Philippa?
Yes. When is this murder going to take place? 6:30. Are you the murderer? Me? Of course I'm not. Well, you seem to know all about it. Well, it was in the Gazette, wasn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if everyone in Chipping Cleghorn saw it this morning.
Yes, indeed.
It's nearly 6:30. If it's going to happen at all, it'll be any moment now. Sherry, anyone?
No, thank you.
Yes, please, Letty.
I've got it, Philippa. Here you go.
Thank you, Edmund.
What? Stop it!
Who put the lights on? Don't say it's not funny. Come on, you had your joke. Put it back on.
Get your hands up! Stay where you are! I said get your hands up! If you want to get out of this alive, do as you're told! You, high above your head! You, away from the door! Go! Now!
I can't see. Have you got those matches, Edmund?
Plastic! I'm out of matches!
Someone put the lights on.
Fuse must have blown.
Where's the fuse box?
In the hall. I'll go. Oh, what the?
What is it?
They come. Let's turn all the lights back on.
Letty.
She's unconscious. Must have knocked herself out.
Who is she?
I've no idea. Better get her gun before she comes around.
Will someone please help me?
Aunt Letty! No, sit down.
Is she badly hurt?
It's nothing, just my ears.
Why the pencil, Patrick?
Well, I don't suppose the police would be very happy if I got my fingerprints all over it.
Please?
You'll have to be called in, Mother.
Is that Mitzi?
Yeah, someone seems to have locked her in the dining room.
Why do that?
I have no idea.
Well, hadn't we better let her out?
I'll do it.
No, there might be a... I'll do it in a moment.
Are you feeling better, Letty?
Thank you.
My goodness, what's happened?
Aunt Letty's been shot at.
By this person?
Of course. Is she coming round?
No.
I wonder who she is.
I know who she is. Her name is Ruby Shirts. And she's dead.
So, she fires 2 shots from here, hits the wall, and then shoots herself.
If she tripped, she could have done it accidentally, sir.
Are they all here now?
Yes, sir, mumbling and groaning.
Oh.
And I should think you should watch that Edmund Swetnam.
Why?
I think he's a bit of a left-wing intellectual.
I didn't get that impression last night.
He was having a go at the Force this morning, sprouting on about our Gestapo methods.
Oh, Christ. Why do I always pick the awkward ones?
You do seem to attract them, sir.
Why can't I get a nice, peaceful, law-abiding lot who do as they're told and answer my questions with a certain amount of civility?
Not your style, sir.
Once. Just once. That's all I ask, Sergeant. Somebody up there does not like me. And what's more, that lot up there are trying to compound the felony.
Shall I wheel them in, then?
There's nothing else for it, is there?
Afraid not, sir.
Oh, not that door, Sergeant. It's been sealed for years.
Yes, sir. The inspector will see you now.
Here, we should stay in France while we could. One request for another.
This is preposterous. What does he want?
Attention, please! Quiet, please! Please! Thank you. That's very good of you all, and to appreciate your cooperation.
This is very inconvenient, Inspector.
That's right.
It's Saturday, and I have a very important hair appointment.
That's right.
I understand your problem, Miss Sweatingham.
That's Sweatinum.
Of course. But might I remind you, a woman died here last night, right on the spot where you're standing. And whilst it may not seem overly important to you, it is to, well, me, and to society in general. So, if it's not asking too much, I'd like you to push the hairdressing appointment to the back of your mind for a few moments and answer a couple of questions.
I would have thought there were enough questions asked last night.
Ah, well, perhaps you don't think the same as me, young man. Yes, I should think that is the answer. We think differently. But if you cast your mind back, way back to last night, you'll surely recall that I allowed you all to go home and get some rest on the understanding that you'd cooperate fully this morning.
Well, to a creative writer's mind like mine, it's perfectly clear what happened. This woman, Shirts was her name, I believe,
Yes?
broke in here, intending to steal from Miss Blacklock or the rest of us. Fired the shots to scare us, moved over here, tripped in the dark, accidentally shot herself, and died. Poor devil.
Now, I understand you're a bit of a writer.
Well, yes, I do write.
Well, I hope all your plots aren't as obvious as that. Otherwise, I don't think I'll be very interested in reading any of your books.
Well,
Now, perhaps we can get on with this.
I'm sure we're all perfectly willing to do anything you ask, Inspector, but it has been quite a shock to us, you know?
I appreciate that, Miss Blacklock, but you see, For a start, she didn't break in. No locks were broken, no windows forced, no.
She must have come in the back door. I did.
And as I was saying before Miss Marple so rudely interrupted me, there's your awful habit of leaving your doors unlocked for all and sundry to come and go as they please.
I lock the front door.
For once.
And everyone in the village does it, leaves them open, I mean.
Which is foolish. Very foolish.
I suppose I must have left the back door open when I went to lock up the ducks.
Now, Miss Blacklock, you said last night that you knew this Ruby Shirts?
Hardly knew, Inspector. Her father owned a small hotel in Montreux, and I spent many years in Switzerland helping to nurse my sister, and I had a meal there occasionally. Recently, I had lunch at the Royal Spa Hotel in Menham Wells. She was there, she approached me, said she recognized me, and that she was over there to get a thorough grounding in the hotel business. However, I must point out I had no recollection of her at all, but a few days later she called on me here.
She's been here before?
Yes.
I remember, Letty. You were very upset. She asked you for some money.
That's right. She gave me some story about her father being taken seriously ill, and that she desperately needed money for her airfare. Well, I believe she was lying. After all, if her father owned a hotel, surely her family could afford to send her the fare. I told her I had no intention of sending her the money. What surprised me most was that she didn't make a fuss. She just left like a lamb.
Do you think she came here purely to look around, to see what the layout of the house was, that sort of thing?
Well, I haven't given it much thought until now. I suppose that's what she must have been up to, not that it would have done her any good. I don't leave more than a few pounds in the house.
Valuables?
Nothing.
Jewelry, silver?
Nothing worth a great deal. Little bits and pieces. The silver is reasonable. Nothing more. Mitzi was cleaning it last night.
No. Why are you looking at me like that? I don't touch it. It is nothing to you secret police officers. You come here. You blame me all the time. It was the same from where I come from. Torture. Interrogation. But I'm telling you nothing. I will not break. Man.
Is she always like this?
Torture me. You get nowhere. I am innocent. Innocent. I was locked in the dining room. That is my 100% alibi, as you see.
And a very good alibi it is. Perhaps too good on the surface. Now just sit down and try to remember I'm not too keen on the history on it.
I ain't sitting
Sit!
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Let me say this to all of you. I don't want to be here any more than you do. There's a very good match on at Milchester this afternoon that I would very much like to see. But other things are more pressing. Please, can we continue this interrogation without any more interruptions?
I suppose.
Miss Blacklock, we've established that you knew this Ruby Shirts.
Excuse me, Inspector. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I knew her too.
You didn't mention this last night, Miss Marple.
Oh, well, I did, but you weren't here at the time, and, well, when you arrived, you rather neglected me.
Did I? Oh.
Probably because I didn't turn up until after the action had taken place.
Huh. Rather like turning to the end of the book to see who's the killer, eh, Miss Marple?
As an analogy, it doesn't work, because that's cheating. I usually guess who it is without resorting to those tactics. Do you turn to the last page?
If only I could. Now, you said you knew this Ruby Shirts?
Yes. I stayed at the Royal Spa whilst I was having intensive treatment for my rheumatism. She made up my bill.
Ah.
There were one or two discrepancies, which I couldn't fail to notice, of course.
Of course.
Naturally, when the errors were pointed out, she apologized profusely, but we both knew.
Did you report her?
There was nothing I could actually prove.
Well, she does seem to have been a bit of a villain. We'll know more soon. The Swiss police are running a check on her. I'd like everyone to take up the exact positions they were in last night, as far as possible, that is, when the shots were fired. Thank
I'm
you.
going outside. Again!
Inspector, did you want me to wait outside? I was coming in the drive.
So you were outside when you heard the shots, were you?
Yes. You'll see that I came in through the back door, let Mitzi out of the dining room, and then we both came in here.
Tell you what you can do. Keep an eye on her. I don't want her banging about again. Shush! Thank you. The lights go out. The door swings open. A flashlight comes on and lands on...
Me, Inspector.
And lands on you.
My hands weren't up. I thought it was a joke. And then she barked at me. I was so frightened, so of course I had to put my hands up just like this.
Well, she couldn't complain at that, could she?
I thought she was going to shoot me.
You're Miss Blacklock's niece?
Well, yes.
That's the sort of answer I like, full of confidence. You are Miss Blacklock's niece.
Well, it's just that I don't understand what my relationship with Aunt Letty has anything to do with it.
Might I suggest you leave that to me to figure out? And anyways, I was merely trying to establish who you are.
You can check up on me if you like.
I will. Your mother lives in the south of France, I understand?
Yes, she likes it there. It suits her health.
Thank you. The light fell on...
No, that would be me.
The light fell on you next, Miss Sweating.
That's sweating,
Of course.
I was totally dazzled. I couldn't see anything. I just heard that voice. Frightening. Guttural.
You haven't all that long returned to this country, is that right?
Yes, my husband is in the diplomatic service. He died abroad. But naturally I returned with Edmund.
And where were you abroad, that is?
Why? Turin, you may have heard of it. My husband was in the trade delegation there. I really don't see what my personal life has to do with this.
If my knowledge of geography hasn't entirely deserted me, Turin is not all that far from the Swiss border, is that right?
No.
Thank you, Miss Sweating.
That's sweatinum.
Of course.
Just what are you insinuating?
The light fell on you next, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Thank you very much. Now, Miss Haynes.
Aren't you going to ask me any more questions?
Not at the moment. Miss Haynes, the light never fell on you at all, did it?
No, it didn't.
You were actually facing the door.
That's right.
Was it possible to see this gun woman at all?
Not really.
But you were in a good position.
It was very dark. I suppose I could make out a shape, but nothing more.
How long ago was it that your husband died?
Why? What has it got to do with this?
I'd like to know when and why you came to live here.
I still don't see what the relevance is.
Doesn't it strike you as odd that virtually all of you are newcomers to Chipping Cleghorn?
It's never occurred to me.
It's odd, though.
I came here a few months ago because I was offered a job, restoring the gardens at Dyes Hall. I'm a trained horticulturist.
That's nice. Gardener. Miss Bunner.
You're not going to give me the third degree, are you, Inspector?
Not today, Miss Bunner, not today. But if you can tell me what you saw, if anything, I would be very grateful. You were in a good position to see Miss Blacklock and the gun woman had the lights been on.
Yes, I was.
Well, I want you to tell me what you saw before the lights went out.
Before?
Yes. And then I want you to tell me what you saw after the lights went out.
All right. Letty was holding the vase.
No, Bunny, I was holding the sherry. I've been handing it around.
Oh, that's right. Letty was holding the sherry, not the vase.
Then what, Miss Bunner?
Then there was a flash.
From the flashlight?
No.
Oh?
There was a flash. It must have been from the sherry decanter. We always keep it polished.
Ah.
Then it was dark, and she fired her gun at poor Letty.
You actually saw her fire the gun?
I saw the gun fire at Letty.
Thank you, Miss Bunner.
She should be locked up.
Bunny, she's dead.
Serves her right. She tried to murder Letty.
You were by the door, having a few drinks.
I only had one, you know.
Whatever you say, but you were by the door.
No, I was by the door. Then she told me to move away from it. After the first two shots, she brushed past me, and I tried to trip her up.
And that's when you think she fell?
Yes, I suppose.
And then you went out to mend the fuse.
Yes, I knew exactly where the box was, how to open it, and which circuit was affected.
You're Miss Simmons' brother?
I'm a year older.
Miss Blacklock's nephew?
Well, not exactly.
I understood you were.
We're second cousins, Inspector. Patrick's mother is my first cousin.
Our mother always used to refer to us that, and when we came to live here, well,
How long have you been living here?
3 months, I think.
So the three of you have really only known each other since about June or July this year.
I did know them as children.
Right. Well, would you mind standing in the exact position you were in, Miss Blacklock, when the shots were fired? Well, that was a very narrow escape, wasn't it?
I was extremely fortunate.
Right. Well, that wasn't too painful, was it?
Can all go now?
Yes, you can. But do all stay in the village, won't you? Don't take any sudden or unexpected holidays or anything like that. Thank you. Oh, Miss Blacklock, I'd like you to stay.
Inspector,
Yes, Miss Marble?
you haven't questioned me yet.
But you didn't turn up till after the action took place.
Suppose I was lying. Suppose I was Ruby Shirts' accomplice. I could have easily locked Mitzi in the dining room, then hid for a while. I know the layout of the house. Then pretended to show up when it was all over.
In that case, Miss Marble, I'm putting you under arrest.
But I didn't, and I'm not Ruby Shirts' accomplice.
In that case, Miss Marble, you're free to go.
How very disappointing, Inspector. You're having a game with me.
And you with me, Miss Marple. I shall question you when I'm ready. Sit down, please, Miss Blacklock. Miss Blacklock,
Yes.
I think it's time we put all our cards on the table.
I don't understand, Inspector.
Oh, I think you do. Someone tried to kill you last night.
Oh, no, Inspector.
I think there's no doubt of it.
But why?
I hope we're going to find out.
I think you're wrong, Inspector. There are plenty of opportunities for Ruby Shirts to kill me if she wanted to. Why wait till last night? Why invite witnesses?
What makes you think it was Ruby Shirts?
Well, wasn't it?
She did place the advertisement in the Gazette.
Well, there you are. It sort of proves my point. If she'd wanted to kill me, why not wait behind a hedge and pop me off when no one was about? No, I'm sorry. I think you're wrong, Inspector. She didn't come here to kill me.
Someone could have put her up to it?
Put her up to it?
Someone who wanted you dead and was willing to pay Ruby Shirts to do the job. You see, I'm not sure her death was such an accident.
How can it be anything else? She tripped and shot herself.
No. Supposing there was someone else. And what if this someone assumed she'd done the job and killed you? Wouldn't it be safer than to shoot Ruby Shirts so there was no possibility of her getting caught by the police and telling us the truth?
I see exactly what you're saying, Inspector.
You agree with me then?
No, because why? Why should anyone want to kill me?
I have a feeling you might be able to answer that.
I can't. I have no enemies that I know of. I'm on friendly terms with everyone in the village. It's too ridiculous.
Who gets your money when you die?
Is this really necessary, Inspector?
Please, Miss Blacklock, indulge me. Answer the question.
Patrick and Julia.
I see.
I might add that the furniture and a small annuity goes to Miss Bunner, so I suppose she becomes a suspect too? The point is, there really isn't much to leave. Frankly, I'm not worth murdering.
But nevertheless, all three of them stand to benefit.
And not one of them would harm a hair on my head.
You can be surprised what people do for money, Miss Blacklock.
Really, Inspector, I find this conversation extremely distasteful. You are accusing people very dear to me, people I trust, yes, with my life.
Have you got anything of great value?
Nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary.
Those pearls you're wearing.
They're priceless.
Oh.
But only to me. They belong to my sister. I wear them all the time. They somehow, and I don't suppose you'll understand this for one moment, keep me in touch with her.
Well, I like to think I'm not insensitive. But I still think someone is trying to murder you. Would you mind coming over to the wall again, please? If she merely intended to frighten you and everyone else, she would have fired the shots into the ceiling. But, think. The clock struck the half hour. Everybody turned to it. The lights went out. The door swung open. A flashlight comes on, turns to...
Stick 'em out!
Give me that gun!
It's a toy. It fires pieces of potato.
Need any help, sir? No, you're a little late now. Miss Marple, what is this all about?
Well, I couldn't help but wonder how that young woman could be in 3 places at once, fusing the lights, locking Mitzi in the dining room, and opening the door with a gun in one hand and a flashlight in the other. I couldn't. I had to put the gun down, open the door, and pick it up again when I was finished. Seems to me she was a very athletic young woman.
Good point, Miss Marple.
Inspector, that's praise indeed. Tell me, do you think Ruby Shirts could have had an accomplice?
Miss Marple,
Yes.
would you like to do my job?
Well, yes, of course. But I'd never make it as a policeman.
Oh, you think not?
The pay is too low. I started on that little charade in hopes that it might prove my theory that Ruby Shirts came here to murder Miss Blacklock.
I've been trying to convince her of that myself. Perhaps now you'll see it's not the rantings of a hysterical cop. Someone is trying to murder you, and it can happen any time now.
Just because Miss Marple agrees with you doesn't mean to say you're right.
I'm trying to save your life.
I believe that too, Miss Blacklock.
Somewhere, there's a reason. And you know it. It may be hidden deep in your mind. We've got to bring it out.
There's no reason, I'm sure.
Please, think.
But I understand that one day you could inherit millions.
Miss Marple?
Miss Bunner was telling me while we were having coffee at the Bluebird Coffee House.
Trust Bunny, I shall have to do something about her.
Why have you been keeping something back from me, Miss Blacklock?
It's nothing. It doesn't concern this case or you.
Do I need to ask Miss Marple or Miss Bunner for the details?
Miss Marple is referring to Randall Godler's will.
Randall Godler.
He was a financier, Inspector, very flamboyant, hailed as a genius in the city.
He was. I was his personal secretary for nearly 20 years. He made millions.
But without you, it may have never happened.
You do seem very well informed, Miss Marple. Why don't you tell the inspector?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
No, I'm sorry, Miss Marple. But you know that Bunny does get things muddled. You may have got a strange version of the truth.
What is the truth?
I loaned Randall Godler some money in his early days. Everything I had. He was up against it. A step from losing all he'd worked for. He didn't. I more or less became a junior partner. When he died, he left a fortune.
To whom?
His wife, Belle, and trust for her during her lifetime. When she dies, it comes to me.
And you believe this has nothing to do with the shooting?
How can it? Ruby Shirts didn't really know me, let alone Randall Godler, and his will wasn't made public.
It can be looked up in Somerset House. Tell me, how does this Miss Godler feel towards you?
I haven't seen her for years. We were always great friends.
Bunny was saying that her health isn't too good at the moment.
Belle was never very strong, but Randall always said she'd outlive us all. It wouldn't surprise me. Well, apparently she has difficulty remembering anything or anyone now. Poor Belle. I should go to her. But she lives in Scotland, and it's such a long way. You know, Inspector, I've had an excellent reason for murdering Belle for years.
So if she dies, you get everything.
Well, most of it.
What happens if you die before she does?
It goes to Pip and Emma.
Who?
Yes, it does sound funny, doesn't it? Randall had a sister, Sonia. They fell out when she married a man called Dimitri Stamfortis. He sounds Greek, but he wasn't. Jamaican or somewhere. A real rogue. Very handsome, mind you. Randall hated him.
So we cut Sonia out of his will?
That's quite right, Inspector, but it didn't matter. She was rich in her own right. Anyway, Belle and Randall's lawyers persuaded him to change his will in case I died before her. Very sensible. Well, the only communication we received from Sonia was a letter to Belle, 2 or 3 years after she'd married, saying she was deliriously happy and had given birth to twins.
Pip and Emma.
Yes, I suppose it was some sort of joke between her and her husband. One was born just before midnight and one just after. him and Emma.
So there's a young lady and young man somewhere who stand to become millionaires. If you die before Belle Godler, does anyone know what happened to Sonia and her husband?
The last we heard, they were living in Jamaica.
How old would Pip and Emma be now?
25 or 6, something like that.
They must be found. Officers!
Yes, sir.
I need everything you can find on Pip and Emma Stamfortis.
Right away. I need everything you can find on Pip and Emma Stamfortis.
Yes, sir. I'm taking Pip.
And I call Emma.
Dismiss.
Have you any idea what they look like?
None. There were no photographs, and even if there had been, they wouldn't help us to recognize Pip and Emma now.
What did Sonia look like? They may resemble her.
Sonia, oh, she was dark, rather temperamental and very attractive.
Pip and Emma.
Or Sonia, Inspector. Supposing her husband, Dimitri Stamfortis, wasn't it? Well, you said he was a rogue. Supposing he went through all her money, clearly she'd stand to gain if you died first.
Dimitri would too.
Yes.
So there are at least 4 people who stand to benefit from your death, Miss Blackwell.
Oh, but you can discount Patrick and Julia now. If I die before Belle Godler, they'll only get a pittance.
At this stage, I don't believe in discounting anyone, and I'd advise you to do the same, especially anyone from Jamaica.
Put the lime in the coconut. Put the lime in the coconut.
Is anything wrong? No. Then why you look at me so strange?
I didn't realize, Mitzi. No, nothing at all.
Oh, just a minute, Mitzi.
What you want, policeman?
Have you any relations in this country?
Why you want to know?
Any family?
My family is dead. Massacred.
But I understood they were sent to Whistler.
Who told you that?
Miss Bunner.
So you mean to say you have no one, a brother or something?
I'm alone.
No English relatives, a distant cousin perhaps?
Me? English? If it wasn't so funny, I would be insulted.
At some time I'll need to see that all your papers are in order.
Everything is in order. I report to the immigration authorities every 3 months.
Calm down, it's routine, I'm obliged to do it.
You think I do this? This murder? Fine. Arrest me. Put on the handcuffs. Arrest me. Come on. Come on.
Oh, good. You're arresting her, are you, Inspector?
I don't care. Arrest me. Come on.
Put your hands down, I'm not in the mood.
Well, you should arrest her. She stole a cup.
I don't steal anything, you stupid old woman.
Mitzi!
No, I don't care. She accuses me of stealing. I do not.
Bunny, what's it all about?
One of your favorite coffee cups, Letty. It's missing. They're on the Welsh dresser in the kitchen. And she won't let anyone go in there. There were 6, now there are 5.
Mitzi, I won't be angry with you. Did you break one?
First murder, now stealing. Why? Because I am a foreigner! That's the truth. It is her. She is the screwy one. She has done something with it and forgotten. She should be put away.
Mitzi, you're being very rude to Miss Bunner. Apologize.
No, I don't care. I'll go in. I'm not blacking your doorstep no more.
I do apologize for that outburst. Regrettable, but she's always like that.
I'm afraid she can't leave.
Oh, she won't, don't worry. She's such an explosive person.
And a liar. You should check up on her, Inspector. I dare say we'd all be surprised if we found out the truth about her.
Well, she does make excellent coffee.
It's the only thing she doesn't put rum in.
Miss Marple?
Oh, please.
Inspector?
Not at the moment. I would like to take another look around the house if possible, though.
Of course. Bunny, you pour the coffee, would you?
Of course. You like it black, don't you?
Oh, no, I like it white.
Oh, that's right. I don't know how you drink it black. I always like mine with lots of cream and sugar. Letty always teased me about it when we were children. I remember.
Not many friendships last as long as yours has.
She rescued me, you know.
From what?
I was destitute.
Surely not.
You don't believe me?
Well, yes, of course.
She's so good. Not only to me, everyone.
She does seem to take quite a few people under her wing.
Too trusting by far.
Oh, she doesn't seem the type of woman to be easily taken for a fool.
Well, she's not a woman of the world, you know, not like us.
But if she worked for Randall Goldler all those years...
Oh, yes, she did. Who told you that?
Well, you did.
Oh, well, don't tell anybody. It's a secret. Poor Lottie. Poor Lottie. Whenever I think of her, that poem comes to mind.
What poem's that?
Why, the one that goes, and sad affliction bravely borne.
What sad affliction, Miss Bunner?
What?
A sad affliction?
All those years, looking after her sister. Only she would have done it.
Tuberculosis, wasn't it?
Gave up everything. Everything. Nobody appreciates her. Not like I do. And that Patrick, always taking advantage of her.
But he seems such a nice young man.
He's always borrowing money from her and never paying it back. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him who put that Ruby Shorts up to coming here last night. Always playing practical jokes. They were probably going to split the proceeds. Then he could pay back Lottie the money he owes her. He's like all the young people these days. They've no respect for anything.
Well, things aren't all that easy for them either.
Come, look at this. Here, on the sideboard. There, a cigarette burn. Only the young people smoke in this house.
What a shame.
Such a beautiful piece.
Yes, so is this.
Dresden, we have two. A pink one in this room and a green one in the spare room.
This is the green one, Miss Bunner.
Oh, I always thought the pink one was in this room. Oh dear. This dreadful business, Miss Marple, it has really gotten on top of me. I'm more confused than ever.
Oh, my goodness, I'm sorry, Miss Bunner. The violets have died.
Oh, how silly of me. I forgot to water them.
But
no wonder.
Not to worry. I'll bring plenty more when I come next time. And I think I know someone who can fix the sideboard so you'll never notice it had been damaged.
That would be wonderful.
Well, I must be on my way now.
Must you? It's so nice having someone to talk to who understands.
I have some shopping to do.
Oh, not that door. It's always sealed up. We used to have this table in front of it. Then people would know they couldn't go through.
Seems like a good idea to me.
It was. But Philippa suggested we move the table. She said it would integrate the rooms more. 2 rooms originally, you see.
Is there a key?
Ah, the builders were very clever. The same key fits in all the downstairs rooms. So sensible. But there's a different key for each bedroom. I'll show you. You see, it's very stiff, but you still can't open it.
Let me try.
What are you doing? The door hasn't been opened
I'm
since...
sorry, Miss Blacklock.
Miss Marple.
No, Letty, it was my fault. I was just explaining to Miss Marple about Philippa suggesting we move the table away from the door.
No, it's my fault, Miss Blacklock. I'm afraid I have an insatiable curiosity. Please don't blame Miss Bunner.
Oh, there's no need. With all that's been going on, I'm afraid I'm a little overwrought.
My nerves are on edge too, Miss Blacklock.
This door hasn't been opened since they've made these 2 rooms into one. And that was a very long time ago.
Ah, Miss Bunner, my sergeants found your missing coffee cup. Out in the bushes, by the duck pond.
Oh, how lovely. I should have thought to ask you first, shouldn't I? You being a detective.
Yes, it's all part of the job. We find missing kittens as well.
How did my coffee cup get there?
Well, using my obvious powers of detection, I would say someone threw it there. Have you any idea why there should be oil in it?
I think I might have, Inspector.
Surprise me, Miss Marble.
The hinges. They've been oiled quite recently, I'd say.
What? So that it would open silently. So if Ruby Shirts had an accomplice, it could have been anyone in this room last night. Why should she need to use this door? Well, whoever she is, she's the only one that knows that this door can be opened. She may try to use it again. The next person that comes through this door could very well be the murderer. Let's hope I'm here when they come. 11:30. I must get back to the station. Miss Marble, would you like a lift?
Oh, please. Goodness, I haven't fed the ducks yet.
Can I help you, Letty?
All right, come along. Poor creatures must be wondering what's gone wrong today. Goodbye, Miss Marple.
Oh, goodbye.
Letty! It's me, Clara. I forgot to leave the honey.
I'm sorry, Bunny. It would have been a better present if I could have got into the shops yesterday.
No, a box of handkerchiefs was just what I wanted.
I'll get you something on Monday, Bunny.
Don't want you to put yourself to any trouble, Patrick.
If only the inspector had let us get away earlier. I really am sorry.
So am I, Bunny. About the party as well.
But we couldn't have gone ahead with it, could we?
No, that's what I said. I'll have to cancel my birthday party after this dreadful business. I don't mind it. Doesn't upset me.
I don't understand why we couldn't have gone ahead with it. I mean, a woman none of us knew came here, tried to rob us, and almost killed Aunt Letty. And just because she got what she deserved, you decide poor Bunny has to suffer.
I can't believe that even you can be so insensitive, Patrick.
Well, I'm quite sensitive sometimes. I mean, I have noticed the way you and Edmund sweat and look at each other.
What's wrong, Patrick? Are you jealous?
Whatever's this, lover's tiff?
It most certainly isn't that.
Careful, my dear. You know what they say about the lady who doth protest too much.
Oh dear. Please don't argue. I have such a headache. What with that dreadful shooting and all those questions. Well, the pain is quite devastating.
Why don't you take something for it?
No, I shall be all right.
Don't be silly.
I can't find my aspirins anywhere, Letty.
There's a bottle of aspirin on my bedside table.
Thank you, but I'm quite capable of withstanding it.
Of course you are, but why suffer?
Well...
Shall I go?
No. The least I can do is get them myself. Pain. I can make it.
You really do know her well, don't you?
She surprised me this time, holding out so long before mentioning her headache.
Oh, but you said she'd have one, and you were right.
It's a pity we couldn't have the party. She's been looking forward to it so much.
I'm glad it was her suggestion to cancel it.
But I mean, where's the harm?
If we had her cake with tea and sort of turned into a party just for the family.
It would really cheer her up. Only a teeny weeny party.
Oh, blast you, you're making me feel dreadful.
I'll buy you a latte.
Well, we have to have tea anyways, so why not?
Oh, good. Patrick, get Julia and tell Mitzi we're going to have the cake after all.
Righto.
Philippa, I don't want to be inquisitive, but there's something worrying you, isn't there?
Well,
Is it anything to do with your son?
no, he's fine. He loves his school. The fees, well, obviously they're a bit of a problem, but
Then there is something.
it's really nothing.
Anything you tell me will be in the strictest confidence.
There's nothing to tell, Letty. Really.
Very well, but I've got something to tell you that may help ease your worries.
There's nothing I can't cope with.
I know you're very independent, Philippa. I can't help you much at the moment, but perhaps.
Please, Letty, don't give it another thought. I shall be able to manage.
I want you to know I spoke to my lawyer yesterday. I'm changing my will. Apart from Bunny's legacy, everything goes to you.
Me? But you can't be serious.
Oh yes, it's all in hand.
But I don't want it. What about Patrick and Julia?
They have no claim on me. You are now the main beneficiary.
Why? Why are you telling me this?
I don't think it's at all a bad idea for people to know that I'm changing my will.
No, I can't let you do this, Letty.
Believe me, Philippa, there's a very good reason for what I'm doing. You won't get much if I die now, but if I live, one day you'll come into a lot of money.
Die? You're not going to die.
You never know.
Mrs. Sweatingham and her son Edmund Sweatingham and Miss Marple. Thank you. You're welcome.
Miss Marple, Clara, this is a surprise. There's nothing wrong, is there?
Wrong. I suppose when the three of us turn up here these days, it does seem as if trouble isn't far behind.
Well, I certainly hope it is. I've had enough for one weekend.
It's all my fault, dropping in like this. I called round to Clara and Edmund to suggest it. I do hope you don't mind. It just seems such a shame, Bunny having to cancel her party.
We thought we'd bring her a little present each. I'm afraid we haven't got anything very exciting.
But how kind.
We won't stay, of course.
Oh, but you must stay to tea. Mitzi's made a beautiful cake and Bunny will be so pleased.
We'd love to stay, thank you.
Yes. Is that alright with you, Philippa?
Oh, yes, of course.
Edmund!
Mother!
Good.
Oh, well, looks as if we're going to have a party after all.
Well, we won't have the party, just tea.
By the way, Letty, did you find my honey?
Oh, Clara, I'm sorry, I forgot. Thank you very much.
I came in the back door and couldn't find you anywhere. How silly of me forgetting to leave it in the first place. We got all the way home before we noticed, didn't we, Edmund?
I'm sure we could have left it until some other time.
But it was your idea.
Actually, we did need it. Mitzi always uses it in her special cake.
You see?
Well, Miss Marple, looks like this time you'll be in at the kill.
Don't say things like that, Edmund. That's something we all want to forget.
How can you, Mother? It's by no means over.
I'm afraid you're right, Edmund.
Well, I'm sure the inspector. I don't think he is.
You think someone paid Ruby Schutz to kill Aunt Letty? And that they'll try it again?
You shouldn't have mentioned that, Patrick.
Good God!
That puts all of us under suspicion.
Yes, I'm afraid the inspector has to include all of us here now.
Yes. How long were you out in the hall, Miss Marple? We only have your word for it that you were coming up the drive when the shots were fired.
My dear boy, I'm sure I'm very high on his list.
Really? And you seem to get on so well with him.
I think he finds me mildly amusing.
Patrick, why don't you see if Bunny's coming?
Surely there's not going to be any more unpleasantness.
By that do you mean any more murders, Mother?
Do you have to?
Murders! Murder! Murder!
Hide, she's coming.
Happy birthday, buddy!
Surprise! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Bunny. Happy birthday to you.
But I canceled my party.
We're all going to have some cake and a cup of tea, Bunny.
Oh, what a lovely surprise.
And here's a little something to wish you a very happy birthday, Miss Bunner.
Thank you. That is kind.
I'm afraid it's only handkerchiefs.
Just what I wanted.
Here, Bunny. It's only apples from the garden.
What a lovely thought. And I brought you some honey. How kind. I'm afraid the bees aren't so busy just now. It's only half a jar. Oh, well, it can't be helped.
I'll get that for you, Bunny.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really must take these aspirin now. I have a thumping headache still.
Patrick, there's some water on the sideboard.
Aren't I silly having a headache on my birthday?
You'll soon feel better.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I excel myself. This time, put a special secret ingredient in.
Delicious.
Give it that extra bit of flavor.
Flavor's good.
Make it more than perfect.
Yes, thank you, Missy.
It's rum. Have you noticed the candle, Bunny?
Yes.
Only one?
There isn't room for all 21 candles, is there?
You've got to blow out the candle, Bunny. Don't forget to make a wish now.
That's right.
Do hurry up and cut it, Bunny.
Yes, Bunny, we're all dying to try it.
All right. Thank you. Wow, Mitzi did a wonderful. Looks delicious. So good.
Thank you. All right, there we go. Here's the fork.
Who's first?
Well, you are. You're the birthday girl. You have to have the first piece.
Go on, Bunny, I'll cut the rest.
What did you wish for, Bunny?
I'm not telling it won't come true.
If I were you, I'd wish him dead.
If you weren't my sister.
Oh, but I am.
Bunny? Bunny?
Bunny.
Bunny, you're late. It's the excitement. It's been too much for her. Someone get the brandy.
You can get her Sherry.
Bunny, don't do it. It's by the telephone. Bunny. Bunny. Bunny.
Take a deep breath.
Bunny. 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 Come on, Bunny. Bunny.
Bunny. Bunny.
Bunny?
Bunny. I'm afraid there's no need. It's too late.
Delicious death.
Patrick, what are we going to do?
Oh, we'll think of something.
You're bound to find out. It can't last much longer.
Don't worry.
Don't worry! For God's sake, Patrick, everyone's
We'll
going to
achieve
know!
nothing by panicking.
You will help me, won't you?
Haven't I? I've done everything you've asked.
I know you've been so wonderful. I need you.
Well, there's no way back. Can't stop now.
What's done is done.
I did it for you.
I love you, Patrick.
I love you too. Well, thank you.
Have you found out any more?
We're making progress. We're not interrupting anything, are we?
Oh, no, nothing at all.
Well,
Well,
Well, we'll go and feed the ducks or something.
ducks.
Oh, Mr. Simmons,
Yes?
you have a little lipstick right on your cheek right now.
Oh, I didn't wash my face
He
this
didn't
morning.
wash his face.
Well, he can't blame you, can he, Miss Simmons?
Hardly.
Well, the ducks.
Oh, by the way, Miss Simmons,
Yes?
you work at the pharmacy at the local hospital, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. There are more urgent things. Now, Miss Blackwell.
I'm really not up to answering a lot of questions.
I'll be as brief as I can, but you've had another lucky escape.
I find it more and more difficult to accept your reasoning, Inspector. How can you possibly suggest that I was the intended victim this time? Any one of us could have eaten that cake first.
I know that.
And Patrick's suggestion that Clara's honey could have been poisoned it's malicious.
I agree.
Oh? Then how is the cake poisoned? Did Mitzi...
It wasn't the cake.
But
It was these.
my aspirin?
Exactly. Your aspirin. The ones you normally keep by your bed.
No.
Someone wants you dead, Miss Blacklock. Very, very badly.
I'm frightened, Inspector.
At last. Now perhaps you'll help me find the murderer.
I haven't purposely been non-cooperative. I just...
There's no friendship where money's concerned. Did you know Belle Goldler's condition has deteriorated recently?
I knew she wasn't well.
I understand she is now seriously ill.
Poor Belle. I should go to her.
It could be poor Miss Blacklock.
Pip and Emma.
Yes, they're uppermost in my mind, but it could be a combination of them and their parents who are trying to kill me. The father, Dimitri Stamfordis, you said he was a rogue. Would he go as far as to murder to get money?
I'll do anything you say.
Good. You must try to remember everything you can about him, Sonia, Pip, and Emma. Anything and everything, but the son and daughter in particular, they are uppermost in my mind. Have you any photographs of them?
Well, Belle Goldler is more likely to have photographs of them than I am.
I'm afraid you drew almost a complete blank with her. They allowed the police up there to look all around the house. They found nothing. Have you anything? What I'm hoping is that Pip may take after his father, or Emma, her mother.
Or the other way round.
Exactly.
There was an old album. I haven't seen it for years. It should be in the house somewhere.
Find it.
It might take a little while.
Would you like some help?
Let me try first. Excuse me, Philippa.
I believe you want to see me?
Yes, Miss Haynes. Do sit down.
Oh dear, this sounds serious.
If you lie about something, Miss Haynes, you have to cover your tracks very, very carefully.
I don't understand.
Yes, you do. Don't lie anymore. You know what I'm talking about.
Everyone says we have more freedom nowadays. The world is more understanding than it ever was. Well, Inspector, you try being an unmarried mother.
I don't think it would work.
It isn't easy in a small village.
So you invented a husband.
How do you think Letty Blackhawk would react if she knew the truth?
She strikes me as being a sympathetic and understanding person. What's more, she's no fool. I have a sneaking suspicion she may have guessed the truth.
So that's why
What?
she's been so kind to me. There aren't many like her.
Does your son know the truth?
He believes his father died.
Silly. You'll find out sometime.
Maybe.
My advice to you is to tell him and everyone else.
Will you tell the others if I don't? It isn't a crime.
I couldn't live with it, but it's up to you. Would you like some water?
No, thank you. How did you find out?
We do a lot of routine work.
You've been checking up on me?
Sort of.
You make it sound very casual.
It isn't, but it is puzzling.
Puzzling?
It's only a small thing. I'm sure you can help. It's about your son's birth certificate.
Yes.
It gives the mother's name as Philippa Haynes.
Well, that's me.
Ah. Well. In that case, there is a problem. You see, we can't find a birth certificate for anyone with your name.
Inspector, I found it.
Am I interrupting?
Your timing is perfect. Miss Ames and I have just finished. For the time being. Are there any photographs of Sonia and her husband?
I haven't had a chance to look yet.
Is that her?
No, that's Belle. Isn't she beautiful?
Belle at Skene.
That's their place in Scotland. I'm afraid the writing is rather faded.
Belle. Belle and Dimitri. Dimitri and Belle. Self. Sonia. Sonia. Sonia at Skene. Belle at Skene. Belle. Someone got to this ahead of you, didn't they, Miss Blacklock?
It looks as though they've been ripped out.
Letters?
They'll be from me to my sister.
If you've no objection, I'd like to skim through these.
Well,
There might be something about Sonia or Dimitri.
Miss Blacklock! Please, Mitzi, not now. I don't want to be interrupted at the moment.
I don't interrupting. I'm firing you. I'm going. You're fired.
Why are you taking him?
He's the only one who understands.
She can't go.
Certainly not.
I'll go after her.
Of course. And when you catch up with her, you can tell her she won't get any farther than the bus station.
Inspector,
Ah, Miss Marple, my little sleuth, you're just in time.
some people say I'm like a bad penny.
But not me, Miss Marple, not me.
I passed Miss Blacklock in the hall. She told me to come in. That girl of hers, Mitzi, was herring down the driveway like a maniac.
She's rather peculiar, isn't she? Well, now that you're here, you can make yourself useful and help me with a little research.
Certainly, but I do need to talk with Miss Blacklock.
It won't take long, and I don't think you'd want to pass up the opportunity of going through someone else's old letters.
Inspector! That's not like me. Whose are they?
It's from Miss Blacklock to her sister Charlotte. If you find anything that might be useful, as well as interesting, Miss Marple, read it out to me, please.
Very well.
Huh.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh.
Here's something that's been mentioned before.
What is it?
It refers to her disfigurement. Charlotte, that is. It's not as bad as you think it is, and you shouldn't lock yourself away.
I wonder what it was. The disfigurement.
It doesn't say specifically. I don't suppose it was anything much.
Then why would she lock herself away?
In my experience, most women are extremely vain. How would you react if you had a mole on the end of your nose?
I wouldn't have to look at it.
But most women would hide themselves behind a veil.
I suppose.
Huh.
Oh. It's mentioned in this one, too. Listen, I do wish you'd get out more. No one else notices it.
You see? Pure vanity.
Maybe.
Ah. This is what I've been looking for.
Oh, what is it?
It refers to the fight Sonia Goldler used to have with her brother. Sonia has such a violent temper. It's quite terrifying sometimes.
Did you ever find any photographs of Sonia?
They've disappeared. Rather conveniently. But violent temper, and Miss Blacklock says she was dark and attractive. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yes, it does indeed, Inspector. This is interesting. You can always tell when Sonia's angry. She has the habit of clenching and unclenching her hands. Who does that remind you of?
You've got me there. That's something I missed.
And you don't miss much, do you? Julia Simmons does it when she's agitated.
Well, I've checked out both Julia and Patrick Simmons. The French police contacted their mother in the south of France, and she confirmed that they were staying here.
Really, there's no mistake.
Unless the woman in the south of France isn't their mother.
Could she be Sonia, keeping out of the way until it's over?
The French police must have checked on her. They're very thorough.
So she is Letty Blacklock's cousin.
Almost certainly.
I was hoping we'd found Emma, but I know there was always the possibility I was wrong in suspecting Julia. She isn't the only one who does that hand-clenching business. Philippa Haynes does it as well.
That's very observant of you, Miss Marple. 10 out of 10.
It's frustrating that there aren't any photographs of Sonia.
Yes. Sonia Goldler seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth.
I wonder what this means. Lots of love, darling, and buck up. This chemotherapy treatment may make a lot of difference.
Chemo. It must have been some special kind of TB treatment they used in those days. TB, tuberculosis. That is why Miss Blacklock sent her sister to Switzerland. Aha. Now, who does that remind you of?
Well, I must admit it does look like Clara Swetnam, but,
But what?
well, it's an old photograph, Inspector.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Miss Marple. You wanted to see me?
Oh, yes, about the funeral arrangements.
Ah, well, I must get back to the station. I'll take these with me if you don't mind. Goodbye, ladies.
Goodbye, Inspector. I'm sorry to disturb you at a time like this, Miss Blacklock. My nephew wanted you to know that he's finalized all the arrangements for the service, but he'd like to know which hymns you'd like.
Amazing Grace was her favorite hymn. Please thank him for me. I'm sorry, very sorry. Please forgive me.
Don't, please don't.
It came over me suddenly what I've lost. She was my only link with the past. The only one who remembered. Now she's gone. I'm quite alone. Quite alone.
I understand. Cousins, nieces, nephews are all very well. But when the last person you shared your youth with has gone, then you really are alone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, not to worry, dear. I was just leaving.
Not on my account, I hope.
Oh, no, there's something I must do. Goodbye, Miss Blacklock.
Goodbye, and thank you. Only me and you this morning. My turn, Harry. He's looking forward to Christmas break.
It seems as though he's only just gone back to school.
Letty, I realize this isn't the ideal time, but it is all right, isn't it? Harry coming here for Christmas?
Philippa,
What's wrong?
where are Patrick and Julia?
I think they're upstairs. Why? Oh, I don't understand.
Will you please get them for me?
Patrick, Julia, Letty wants a word. Shall I go?
I'd like you to stay.
Julia won't be a moment.
Sit down.
What is it?
I've received this letter. Dear Aunt Letty, I hope it will be all right for me to come to you on Tuesday. Patrick was going to let me know, but he hasn't. My train arrives at about 6:15. It's signed, yours affectionately, Julia.
Oh, God.
This is from your sister?
I'm afraid so.
Then who's the young woman upstairs?
I can explain.
Do!
I know it was a stupid thing to do, but Julia, my real sister, didn't want to take the job here. You see, she was offered a job up north at some theater as an assistant stage manager. She's always been stage struck, and she knew that mother would be furious if she took it.
Will you please explain who that woman is upstairs?
I'm trying to. We didn't come straight here when we first came back to England. There were friends to see and parties to go to, and that's how we met Julia. The one upstairs, I mean. She and I rather fell for each other, and as she wasn't doing anything in particular, well, it seemed like a marvelous idea for the girls to swap identities. I liked it for obvious reasons, and if Mother believed that my sister was here, well, she couldn't object. I was going to tell you, but I couldn't in these circumstances.
Who is that young woman?
Well,
You wanted to see me, Aunt Letty?
Who are you? Who are you?
I'm Emma Stamfordis.
Surprised you decided to stay, Miss Stamfordis.
If I'd make a run for it, he'd only have caught up with me.
You wouldn't have got out of Chipping Cleghorn.
Going to arrest me?
I'd like to know where your brother is first.
Haven't the faintest idea.
This is misguided family loyalty.
I honestly don't know.
Honestly, I imagine that's a word which doesn't come easily to you.
I know how you must feel about me, but understand.
Please! Your brother, Miss Stamfordis.
I haven't seen Pip since I was 3 years old. When my parents split up, it was decided that I should go with my father and Pip with my mother.
Let's try something different. Where's your father, then?
Tried the moon. When I was old enough to take care of myself, my father left me in Kingston. Then I worked my way back to here.
Where's your mother?
Believe me, I'd love to know that. I looked everywhere. I even went to Scotland to see if I could get some more information.
You went to see Belle?
Why not? She's my aunt. I thought she might help me. But it's no use. The old bat's not a part of this world anymore. Then I got to thinking about my uncle. Of course, I knew he was very rich. It occurred to me that if Belle died, I'd be his only surviving relative. So I went along to Somerset House and looked up that will. Was I surprised? I looked everywhere for anyone that even knew this Letty Blacklock. Then I had the most amazing stroke of luck. Through an acquaintance, I managed to meet him and his sister. When the swap was suggested, I had to stop myself from sounding too eager.
I admire your self-control. It must have been quite an effort waiting for the right opportunity to take a pot shot at me. Hello, Chipping Cleghorn 87. Hold on. Inspector, it's for you.
Yes, hello? Craddock here? Yes? What? Well, keep me informed. That's a disturbing development. Miss Marple has been missing since she left here this morning.
Good. What?
That's nearly 7 hours.
You know who it is.
What is it now, Inspector?
All in good time.
Well, I don't like policemen turning at my doorstep and asking me to accompany them. My neighbors will be talking for weeks.
Inspector, I shall be writing to the newspapers about this.
That'll keep you busy for a change, won't it? Just sit down. Mitzi, there's something to tell us.
Mitzi?
Yes, I will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When I first saw what happened on Friday, I don't do that.
Huh, we all know what a little liar she is.
Please.
I'm in the dining room. Let us see. When I hear the gun go off, bang, bang, bang! I looked through the keyhole, and in the little moonlight, I could see Miss Blacklock.
Me? Oh, Mitzi.
That's absurd. She couldn't possibly have seen Miss Blacklock because
Go on, Mr. Swetnam. Why stop now? Why? Why couldn't she have seen Miss Blacklock? It was because she saw you, wasn't it?
Edmund, that's impossible.
If Miss Blacklock dies before Belle Goldler, 2 people stand to benefit. Emma Stamfordis.
And you think I'm Pip? That's too fantastic for words.
Who told you about Pip, Mr. Swetnam? I certainly haven't, and neither has anyone else in this room.
You're wrong, Inspector. I've told him. He isn't Pip. I am.
You wrongly assumed Pip was a boy. Emma, you knew the truth. Why didn't you say so?
Because I suspected who you were. The inspector was right. I was holding back out of family loyalty. I didn't want to give you away.
You of all people, Philippa.
I am sorry, Letty, but when my mother died, I was desperate for money. Hers had gone years ago. She told me about the will, and I discovered for myself that Belle Goldler was seriously ill.
You had gone to a lot of trouble.
It was important to me. I wanted security for my son.
I was prepared to help both of you.
It was all part of my plan to get into your good books.
And it worked, didn't it?
But I grew fond of you.
I even changed my will in your favor.
Well, that scared me stiff. You said there was a very good reason for doing it. I thought you'd found out who I really was and were warding me off from getting my uncle's money.
You were coming to kill me for it.
It never occurred to me, even though I felt I was more entitled to it than you. But there it is. I am Pip, and I'm glad you know.
You two have been seeing quite a lot of each other recently, haven't you?
Yes, well, there's no need to suspect Edmund anymore, is there, Inspector?
Isn't there? Mr. Swetnam's a struggling young writer, not yet published, who would very much like to marry a rich woman.
No, it's not true.
You're in debt up to your eyeballs.
That's complete nonsense.
And I can prove it. The bank. The bookmaker.
So what? Does
It
that...
can't be right, not Edmund.
A rich wife would have solved all your problems, wouldn't it? But in order for her to be rich, Miss Blacklock had to die first. And you did something about that.
Edmund, you couldn't have...
Shall we start with your meeting ruby shirts in Turin, Mr. Swetnam?
Stay back! Stay back, all of you! I'll shoot! Get away from the door! You'll never get me alive! After him! Especially he's getting away!
You won't get far. You'll need to see your lawyer as soon as possible, Miss Swetnam. I really am sorry about this. I realize this must be a great shock.
Seems like a bad dream.
I'll need to see you down at the station.
Now?
Won't take long. Mr. Simmons, would you take Miss Swetnam home, please?
Yes, of course.
Call to her doctor, wouldn't do any harm.
Come along, Mrs. Swetnam. It'll be all right.
What'd I tell you, Mom?
Mitzi, you are a magnificent liar.
I do well, yes. I did what you asked.
To the letter. I'm sorry to have given you such a fright, Miss Blacklock.
You are a clever girl, Mitzi.
Thank you, Miss Blackwell. I'll get you some coffee. You look tired.
That would be nice.
Black and
A
strong.
little milk if you don't mind.
I wasn't talking about the coffee.
You can relax now, Miss Blacklock. You're perfectly safe.
You might have told me you'd arranged it.
And you wouldn't have reacted as you did. It was a little unorthodox, but it worked.
What if it hadn't?
I'd have been in a bit of a mess, wouldn't I?
What about Miss Marple?
Perhaps they've got some news down at the station. I hope to God she didn't find out about Edmund Swetnam before we did.
You'll let me know when you hear anything?
Yes, of course.
If only she hadn't interfered.
I'll see you in a moment.
Thank you, Inspector.
Here, Miss Blacklock. Nice and strong. I put just some milk in.
1 drop or 2?
I take a liberty. I do myself some.
Of course.
Now, Miss Blacklock, we have a nice little chat. Oh? I need money. Lots of money.
Why tell me?
Because I think you will help me.
But I haven't got any money, Mitzi. None to spare, that is.
Ah, but soon you'll be rich. Very rich. Then you will give me lots of money.
I don't think I will.
Yes, I think you will. Because I help you. Now you help me.
But I pay you to help me with the cooking, the house.
No. That's not what I mean. Just now, I tell a big lie for the inspector. Except, it isn't a lie. Not this time.
You don't know what the truth is, Mitzi.
Yes, I think I do. The policemen come to me and say, Mitzi, you're a good liar. I say yes, it's true. You tell a lie for me, he said. When you look through the keyhole, you see Miss Blacklock in the hall.
You did your little bit very well, however, I shan't be paying you for it.
Ah, but he tell me to lie. And it is not a lie. For once, I tell the truth. I did see you in the hall with a gun in your hand. You give me money. I go to Whistler to see my brother. But he never hear from me again.
But you haven't got a brother, Mitzi. So if I give you the money, you'll probably spend it all and then come back to see if you can get more.
I did see you in the hall with a gun in your hand. Give me the money or I tell the police.
Very well. Here, phone. Phone the police. Tell them that you saw me in the hall. Tell them that you saw me with a gun. And I'll tell them you're a liar. A liar who's trying to blackmail me.
I am not a liar.
And you'll be put in prison like you say you were in your own country. I'll tell you why you won't do it. You say you were locked in the dining room and you saw me in the hall holding a gun. Well, my dishonest little Mitzi, that is another of your lies. Because the police know, and everyone who was here on Friday night knows, that the key was in the lock. So it was impossible for you to see anything through the keyhole. Get out. Get out of my house now.
Lottie! Lottie! It's me, Bunny. You're in danger, Lottie. Danger!
Bunny?
Lottie!
Bunny, I loved you. I really loved you. You meant so much to me. I didn't want you to die.
Lottie!
But Bunny had to die. Every day she was becoming more and more of a liability.
Miss Marple, is this some sort of joke?
I have quite a talent for mimicry, so I'm told.
A joke in the worst possible taste.
Such sensitivity doesn't become you, Charlotte.
Charlotte is dead. I'm Letitia.
Bunny would keep referring to you as Lottie instead of Letty at the most inconvenient times. I thought it was a slip of the tongue. I'm sure other people did too. But she was the only one left who knew the truth. Who remembered.
My dear woman, Bunny always muddled people's names. Everyone knew it. Mitzi, for instance, was often called Millie, and at times she referred to you as Miss Maple. She confused you with the tree. We were all highly amused.
She was putting you at risk every time she got muddled. You couldn't take that risk any longer. Any moment and she might give it all away.
Miss Marple, how dare you? Will you please leave?
Recognize it?
It's mine.
And it used to be kept here, but this one replaced it. The cord is frayed. You can actually see the bare wire. Bunny put me on it when she showed me the cigarette burn on the sideboard. She even told all of us at one point that you were holding the vase of violets and not the sherry decanter as you insisted.
Nonsense, another of Bunny's muddles. I was holding the sherry. Philippa will confirm it. She had one.
All eyes were on the clock. As it finished striking, you simply emptied the water from the vase of violets onto the bare wires. That was the flash Bunny saw, and that fused the lights. Very effective.
What a vivid imagination you have. I should be careful not to let it run away with you. I imagine your old age pension won't cover lawyers' fees.
I'll risk it.
It's your funeral.
Oh, I plan to live a few more years. When your father died, your sister Letitia,
Charlotte,
decided to take you to Switzerland.
Charlotte had TB. It was the best place for her. I had the money. I loved her dearly.
It was the right decision. You, Charlotte, were cured. However, ironically, Letty caught pneumonia and died. You were frantic, because with her death, the gold vermilion slipped through your fingers. Then it occurred to you. You and Letty had been away from England for years. There were big similarities between you. Why not swap identities?
My birth certificate, my passport, my bank will confirm that I am Letitia. Oh, and I even have Charlotte's death certificate.
You came back to this country. Dora Bunner came to find you because she badly needed help.
So if I was Charlotte, then Bunny would have recognized me immediately, and any deception I'd planned would have been impossible.
She did recognize you. But once you explained to her about Roundel Goldler and the will, she actually agreed it was your right to inherit the money, and even offered to help you. You were lonely, and here was someone you had always had a great deal of affection for, and could substantiate your deception. You took the risk.
Good. Very good.
Everything went well for years, until a few days ago. Then you had some bad luck. You ran into Ruby Shirts, and she recognized you as Charlotte. You knew the sort of woman she was, and you knew Belle could die at any moment. Once the news had broke that you had inherited the Goldler millions, there was a strong possibility she would blackmail you. You wouldn't allow even the smallest chance of that. You'd never get rid of her.
I have my methods of dealing with blackmailers, Miss Marple.
When she came here asking for her airfare, it was heaven sent. Fine, you said. I'm having a party for some of my friends here on Friday, and I want to give them a thrill. You put an announcement in the paper saying there's going to be a murder here at 6:30. Then show up. I'll fuse the lights and you pretend it's a holdup. It'll scare them stiff. Then I'll give you your money.
Do go on, it's very interesting.
You fused the lights, as I explained. Then you went through this door. Quickly along the passage, you locked Mitzi in the dining room. You came back into the room through this door and came down to take 2 shots at yourself. Except you weren't there.
The bullet's nicking my ear.
That was too obvious. Everyone knows the earlobe bleeds profusely when cut. A pair of scissors would do the trick. Then you came down and shot Ruby Shirts at point-blank range.
Feel free to tell Inspector Craddock all you've told me. He'll put it down to the rantings of a senile woman because we both know there's no proof.
Oh?
No.
Do you remember Bunny's favorite quotation? And sad affliction bravely borne. Switzerland isn't only famous for curing TB. In a letter to you from Letitia, she mentioned chemotherapy treatment. It baffled me for a while, but with a little research, I discovered that Swiss doctors had also perfected a very special operation for throat cancer. I'm perfectly sure when the records are checked, we'll find that it was Lottie and not Letty who was successfully operated on for throat cancer.
What a pity you interfered. You're missing. Presumed dead. Edmund Swetnam stabbed you and dumped you in the river.
Very well. All right, thank you very much, everyone. It's all over. You can come out now.
Sir, I'm so sorry. Said I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm so You have no idea what a terrible time I've been through. I shall never forgive you. Never.
I'm sorry, Mother. I could hardly tell you what we were up to.
I was worried sick.
I was worried too. About both of you.
Go.
persuasion might come to this, I am a detective. It's already cut, so dig in.
BAM!
Ooh, wow, this is huge. Wow. Oh, and I'll lace the cake with a dash of poison.
Delicious death.
Delicious death.
Firstly, I'd like to start with Ms. Zemny. She is in charge of costumes.
And also someone who's really important to this community is my mom, Miss Angelis.
Who is in charge of our makeup this year and for the past production. So Michelle, thank you so much.
As you guys see in the lobby, has done the headshots and the stills. So, Miss I, are you here? Is Mr. Hancock here? Yes. These beautiful paintings you see, and he does a lot of work for us as well, so thank you. And also, Mr. Grout. Sorry. He faithfully films all of our shows and puts together a little memorial
a seat each for us at the end of the year, and he just does a lot of work for us, and there you are. Thank you very much.
And this one goes to Mr. Genzer, and he is not only such a supportive spirit, but he's here to sell our tickets,
The set?
the set. Just he's an all-around amazing guy. So Mr. Genzer.
Not least, we have the director, the guy who put this whole thing together, the guy with the vision from the start, and the guy who really saw it through till the end. We have Mr. Hughes. Where is Mr. Hughes?
I look around, I see all the members of our community who've come, parents and friends and family and everyone. People have come 3 and 4 times to see their kids do such a good job. I bless all of the community, and I'm so happy to be part of a community like this, and the support that you guys have shown for all of our kids, taking them to rehearsals and feeding them and just supporting us. We're so happy. Yeah, you wouldn't have otherwise, I know. We're so happy with our junior kids, our investment in the future, and how hard they've worked today. But today is largely about our seniors, our grade 12s, who are leaving us. And most of them have been with us for 3 or 4 years, and we're going to miss them a great deal. They're very talented, they're hardworking, they're enjoyable to work with, they've pulled together as a group, and they've just made it a great community. And I want to thank them for their years of service, and we're going to miss you a great deal. Thank you very much. We have to make our mystery prize draw. All of you who picked Letty Blacklock as the murderer have been entered in this magic bucket of happiness here. And we have it. You will win a chance, $25,000.
It's me.
Here we go. We have, oops, Dixie Schumann. Come on, Dixie. Come on, Dixie. Come on, give him it. There we go.
She really got Dixie.
You're kidding, right?
This is a gift certificate for Book Warehouse for $25 and a scratch and win lottery ticket on which she could win $25.